Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I've actually been holding on to this footage now for at least 4 years. I filmed this hunt 4 years ago, and it was back when the heavy arrow craze was going on. I wanted to bring that to you guys today, partially because I'm unable to get out there and hunt because of my arm still. For those of you that don't know about my injury, if you want to click on that last video I just posted, it'll kind of get you up to date on what's going on with that. But it gives me the opportunity to bring out some older footage, and this happens to be one. When I first filmed this hunt and I went back home and got it all edited, it was over a half hour long, and there was just a lot of things going on with it. A lot of pig behavior. I was testing out a new bloodlight for Nebo at the time, doing some research development on it. And it was also during the time of the heavy arrow craze in the archery shop. You know, a lot of guys were coming in wanting the heavy arrow setups. And so I built myself a heavy arrow setup to get out there just to kind of prove that it's not needed. And this video is exactly the kind of video you want to watch whenever you're considering whether or not you want to shoot a heavy arrow, maybe. First and foremost, though, let's define what a light, medium, and heavy arrow is, because I've looked online, I've looked at some other videos on light versus heavy. Nobody ever really defines what that is. So I want to tell you, as a professional in the archery industry, what I feel is a medium, light, and heavy arrow, and we'll go from there. So basically, anything from 300 to 400 grains total arrow weight would be what we consider a lightweight arrow. Anything from 400 to 500 is going to be your midweight, and anything from 500 to 600 is what we're going to consider heavy. Now, anything 600 plus is going to be what I would consider ultra heavy. That is something that I generally set up for my customers that are headed to Africa for big game. Usually I'm putting them somewhere in the 700 to 800 range, sometimes even 800 plus, depending on what they're going after. I will say that that's a very rare case. I do not recommend shooting that heavy of an arrow. But I will say this, and I'll tell you guys at home, just like I would tell any customer coming in the bow shop that wants to set up a heavy arrow setup. And that is, shoot whatever you feel is going to be perfect for where you hunt and for your distance that you're going to be shooting. So if you know for a fact that you're going to be shooting 30 yards and in, maybe you're hunting over a feeder, or maybe you're hunting tight spots, shoot a heavy arrow as you want to. Just know that when you go to a heavy arrow setup, it is going to limit your range, and it's also going to really extend your pin gaps, and your margin of error on distance judging is going to be greatly decreased. So I recommend sticking in that mid-weight, which would be somewhere between 400 and 500 grains. Matter of fact, if you can hit the 450 grain mark, I feel like that is ideal. Anything plus or minus from 450, so 425 to 475, is the perfect arrow weight for anything in North America, in my opinion. Now, that's going to vary depending on your draw length, your draw weight, etc., etc. But for this particular video, you're going to see me shoot 2 really big boars within an hour of each other and almost in the exact same spot. Now, the first one is the heavy arrow setup that I was using, and as you can see, this is the broadhead that I shot that pig with. Since then, I have shot I've shot 4 pigs with it total. I'll keep tally marks on it, and I just keep sharpening it. But this particular pig was the first one I took with this arrow. This is a 200 grain cutthroat. It is on a 280 injection with blazer vanes and a nocturnal lighted nock. Now, this arrow weighed in at 581. And like I said, this was the first boar I shot. He was inside 20 yards. I got a complete pass through, as you're about to see, and he didn't make it. So the second pig I was able to shoot with what I consider my lighter setup, which was actually medium weight still. Now, it is weighing in at 446. It is tipped with a Gravedigger hybrid. This is an older Deep 6 model. It's a 100 grain broadhead on a 330 injection with blazer vanes and a nocturnal nock. So that arrow weighed in at 446. Once again, complete pass through. I shot both these pigs in almost the identical same spot. So the footage speaks for itself. The arrow that I personally run nowadays is going to be this one here. It weighs in at 485. Now, this is a Evolution Outdoors. This is the Hyde broadhead. It's their expandable. It is on a 330 injection. The only difference is now I'm running the new Alpha vein by Bonding, and I also run a Halo knock instead of a Nocturnal. I just feel like they're a better system. So anyway, that's what this video is going to be about. I hope you enjoy it. Like I said, I've been trying to put it out there for several years. Oh, on a side note, I did throw in a little snip of me testing the Nebo Illumitrace Bloodlight. This was 4 years ago, like I said, so the model you're going to see in this video was this big, bulky, clunky thing. This was their very first prototype that they delivered to me to have tests for them. I took that prototype back. I told them what I feel like they needed to change, and they did make a few adjustments to it with prototype number 2. You're not ever going to see these in green because this is a one-of-a-kind prototype, but they did put the selector switch on there for me and do some really other cool stuff with it. And then, of course, they gave me the third one, which is the product that you see nowadays that you guys can get out there and pick up. I think this light will help a lot of you new archers out there, new hunters. If you don't really know what to look for on blood, this is a great way to kind of give you that visual. But for some of you, it may not work as well, and it's just a matter of opinion. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. It was a lot of fun making it, and it's been a long time coming. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And yeah, like I said, enjoy the footage. Shaking. That's the first time in a long time I've gotten eaten up by a damn pig like that. They just would not commit to coming in. I had 2 other ones that came in earlier. A brown one that came in really early, and that brown one with the black mohawk. Neither one of them would commit. They just were so skittish. And then this black two-tone boar that one I was really wanting to shoot, the biggest one of the bunch, he committed and came on in, and I just smoked him. I heard him crashing back in the woods back there, so I want to give him a little bit, and then I'll head in there and see if I can't recover this thing.
Well, it may be too dark to video, but you'll have audio anyway. I just smoked that red one. I was actually sitting here reviewing video of that two-tone boar I shot, and that red one came in, so hell, I smoked him too. He was at 30 yards. The first one I shot was at about 18. So I'm gonna give them both a little bit, and I'll go look for each one of them. Hopefully I recover both. I think I heard both of them fall just in the woods back there. It's real thick, so hopefully I've got good blood to go on. All right, I just got down. I'm gonna go see if I can collect my arrows and see if I can't see some kind of blood. One arrow I see glowing on there. That first one, I never saw where it went. So my first arrow either went through and skipped. Oh, there's the shaft right there. So that's the broadhead. Man, it's in there. If I can get this camera down. So you can see right here that shaft went completely through and buried up. And that's that cutthroat. That's the 200 grain. So no surprise that it went completely through that pig. And I've already got blood, looks like right here on that leaf. Man, well, it needs to be touched up, but it's pretty sharp. Good, so I got my broadhead back at least. Now I just need to find where that pig went. I'm gonna go recover this other arrow over here real quick, and then I'll come back. Alright, I see where that first pig went. There's my arrow over there, that little green glowing dot. I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera. But that's my second arrow. First pig, this is the blood from the first pig. I see some blood right there. Alright, well here's a quick update. I decided to go look for that pig number one myself without the camera because it was just extremely thick in there with briars, and there's no way I could hold the camera flashlight and still make it through all that in there. I found him. He was, he probably went around 130, 140 yards, I bet, if I had to guess. But he's down in a place where I can probably get to him, so I'm going to try to get a buggy and go get him in a second. This second pig, I'm going to go ahead and get on it because it should be easier. There's my arrow. It looks like everything is intact on it, complete pass through. Now that was with the 444 grain arrow, so both of them passed through. I don't see any need to shoot that heavy arrow stuff. To me, I usually get better blood trails with these other heads anyway, but right now I'm not seeing a lot of anything. I just know he went this way. Oh, I got blood here on this grass. So he definitely went this way. Yeah, I got good blood. It's picking up right here. Good blood on this grass here. Still good blood all the way down through here. Good blood along the trail. I can see him laying. I believe that's him right there. Yep. Oh yeah, he's done. Sweet, well I found them both. First one was definitely a little more difficult. He went a little further, but I'm going to try to go back and get a cart and try to get him loaded up and out of here, maybe get the other one too. I'll get them loaded up, get them out where I can do a recovery video, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Okay, so here's pig number 2. Actually, he's the first one I shot. And I'm going to tell you, he's too big to get out of here. I've tried. I've been sitting here trying to drag him and I can hardly budge him. He's got some pretty decent cutters on him, looks like. You can see that. But he's just a big old rank boar. He's kind of cool looking. I ain't never shot one that's looked like this. He's got brown on his backside here. It fades to black towards his head. And he's got a little brown patch under his chin. He's a really cool looking pig. You can see where he's been crossing under fences. And like I said, there's no way I can get him out of here. I made a pretty good shot on him, as you can see. But this is about all the recovery video we're gonna be able to get from him, because I can't budge him, and I can't get a buggy back here to where he's at. It's too thick. So unfortunately, this is what we got to work with. As you can see, that's the prototype that you gave me. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. Here's a good example of what it looks like. So you can kind of see that blood on that leaf pretty good. Wow, what a great way to start off 2022 with a great hunt like this. As you've seen, I've shot 2 pigs tonight, but I was able to recover both of them. The first pig, that big black one, the biggest one, I shot him with that big heavy arrow setup, and as you've seen, it just kind of blew right through him, which I expected it to. This pig, the same thing. I shot him with my light arrow setup. Once again, got a complete pass through. I actually like the blood trail a little better on this pig than I did on the other one, but that's to be expected with a big expandable like I shot him with. But all in all, it was a great hunt. Thank you for following along. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully you'll see me soon on another hunt.